Romeo was a good-looking guy who could talk his way into anything. He was very charming with women. He would often give gifts to the women he dated and take them out on dates. This made the women feel happy and attracted to him. However, once he wasn't interested anymore, he would quickly move on to someone new, leaving the women heartbroken. Romeo enjoyed his promiscuity and never settling. He would pridefully say to his friends,
"Girls are like cars. I love the thrill of a new ride."
Romeo's flirtatious acts with the ladies continued for years, until he met Annalise, his new neighbor. He was captivated by her beauty and decided to have a word with her. On the weekend, he knocked at her door with a bouquet of flowers in one hand and chocolates in the other. Annalise was surprised to see a strange man standing on that.
"Oh, you must be at the wrong flat,"
she said with a smile, about to shut her door when Romeo spoke.
"I am Romeo, your next door neighbor. It's a custom here to welcome new neighbors with a small gift. Please take this from me as a friendly gesture, and I hope we can be friends. If you need anything at all while you are getting settled in, don't hesitate to knock on my door. It's number 508.
He smiled kindly, gave her the gift, and then left. That evening, Annalise visited him and thanked him for his generosity.
Do not say please. By the way, have you checked out the shop and phone mall in the estate?
Annalise shook her head before she sipped from the teacup Romeo had just brewed for them both.
"I hear it's a sight to see."
It is. It has everything you could ever need. I hardly leave the estate unless I need to use the airport for trips. What are you doing tomorrow? I would love to take you there.
Soon, Romeo and Annalise were neighbor buddies, visiting one another frequently. One evening, Annalise got so drunk during their in-house party that she made out with Romeo. Just when the passion was getting extremely heated, Annalise broke it off.
No, we can't do this, no."
Romeo, bemused, whispered,
Why not? We share chemistry. Why do you want to deny this feeling?
Anna sighed.
"You've been kind to me, but I've heard that's how you trick girls into liking you. Once you get what you want, you disappear."
Romeo smirked.
Babe, I'm getting older and my mom keeps calling me to get married. The problem is, the girls I've met haven't been the right fit. I'm looking for someone who is down to earth and cares about family. A street girl wouldn't be a good match for me. It would be too difficult. But you're different. You seem like the kind, responsible person I want to marry and have children with. Don't say no to me, please. I've fallen so deeply in love with you.
Annalise blushed, and so this marked the beginning of their romantic relationship. A few months later, Annalise's cousin Cecilia came to visit. At sunset, Cecilia got dressed up.
"Where are you up to?" "Oh, our sorority is hosting a get-together at the clubhouse. It's starting in an hour."
Cecilia responded as she applied her makeup.
Now I see why you came visiting. Do you want me to drop you off at the venue?"
Cecilia smiled.
"Don't stress, cuz Cassie will be here in 20 minutes to pick me up. You know how we love to roll."
At this instant, a car horned repeatedly outside as Cecilia hurried to take a peek.
"Oh, she's here."
She hurriedly picked up a bag and rushed to the door as Annalise's voice behind her.
"Don't get drunk, see? If you binge into a stupor, make sure you call me so I can come pick you up." "No big drinking tonight, I promise,"
Cecilia replied before shutting the door behind her. The next morning, Annalise received a worrying phone call from Romeo. Annalise hurried to the clinic on the estate to be with Romeo. When she arrived, she saw him getting a blood transfusion.
"What happened, love? You sounded alright when we spoke last night."
Annalise spoke with emotion in her voice as Romeo replied weakly.
I don't know what happened, babe. I woke up this morning with severe migraine. I tried getting out of bed, but I was too weak. Then everything went dark. The doctor said I have an emergency case of anemia and still needed to run some tests to find out the root cause.
Annalise stayed with Romeo until visitors' time was over. When she returned home, she saw Cecilia making dinner.
"Hey sis, Where were you all day?
Cecilia asked Annalise. Annalise was so tired that she fell onto the couch before answering.
Oh, I was at the hospital. The fiancé is hospitalized.
Cecilia looked worried as she gave her cousin a plate of steamed yams and scrambled eggs.
Oh dear. How is he doing? I hope he's feeling better.
I don't know yet. The doctors are still doing some tests while he gets a blood transfusion. I'll find out more tomorrow. By the way, how about you? How was your sorority party?
Cecilia grinned.
I met a Prince Charming at the party. He is so adorable, kind and romantic. We ended up fooling around a bit in his car. It was just too hard to resist. Luckily, he lives nearby and promised to take me to a movie tonight. But I've been texting him all day. He hasn't replied yet. Maybe he's still busy at work.
Annalise rolled her eyes.
See, you are so impulsive, Cecilia. Meeting someone and strapping him on the same night? That's why Mom wants you to get married soon.
Cecilia smiled shyly.
No, I'm not getting married yet until I've had my fill. I do not want the wrath of the gods on me. Besides, it's not my fault, cousin. Did you forget the part where I said it was charming and irresistible? Its charms captivated me. I lost control of my senses. Pardon me, Lord, for falling into temptation. You know, once I'm married or betrothed like you, I won't be able to do all this anymore.
She teased. The next morning, Cecilia insisted she came along. When Cecilia saw Romeo, her eyes widened in surprise. She opened her mouth to speak, but before she could say a word, Romeo had a seizure. Annalise rushed out of the room to find a nurse, leaving Cecilia feeling lost and confused. Romeo, now calmer, spoke quickly to Cecilia.
Please, don't tell Annalise about what happened between us last night.
Cecilia was furious. She glared at Romeo.
You are engaged to my sister, yet you hooked up with me? No, we can't keep this a secret. Don't you see the mess we've created? This is why you are sick.
Romeo was stunned. He stammered.
Annalise is... She's your sister?
Just then, Annalise entered with a nurse as Romeo began to have another seizure.
Please wait outside.
The nurse said firmly to them. They were seated in a waiting room as Cecilia seemed worried.
Do you know why I wanted to come with you? No, not really. I just thought maybe you didn't want to be by yourself at home.
Cecilia sighed.
It was because I had a dream of you grieving. And that man in the ward was the one I fucked at the party.
Please tell me you're joking.
I wish it was, but it isn't. He pleaded with me to keep our meeting a secret from you when you went to get the nurse. But you know what happens when we don't do what's right. I do not want to be the person you grieve over.
That promiscuous bastard has doomed us.
Annabelle and Cecilia are cousins. Their family line way back in the past made a promise to a powerful water deity. A long time ago, an ancestors of theirs had twins who were very sick. No medicine could help them. So she went to the river and begged the water deity for help. The water spirit saved the twins, but there was a condition. The twin had to get married by the end of the year. From that moment on, anyone who is betrothed to a member of the family will become a full member, and no one in the family could commit adultery. If they broke this rule, someone would die. Annalise walked angrily into the hospital room and saw Romeo lying peacefully on the bed.
I found out what you did last night. How could you do that? So you lied you were home whilst at the club hooking up with strangers?
Romeo spoke quickly, his voice weak.
Please, Anna. It was a big mistake. I never realized she was your sister. I promise it won't ever happen again.
Annalise frowned, a tear rolling down her cheek.
Are you sorry that she was my sister? Oh, you are sorry you cheated? This is more serious. What you did caused your illness. And if you and Cecilia don't meet with my grandmother before,
before the 12th full moon. You could die. Cheating while betrothed to me is forbidden. I will bring you bad luck.
At first, Romeo didn't believe it. He thought it was superstition. But then he lost his job and the doctors couldn't explain why his red blood cells were dying fast. Realizing the seriousness, he called Annalise, begged for forgiveness and asked to meet her grandmother. Romeo needed a blood transfusion every 12 hours, so they traveled in a special medical bus. Annalise's grandmother gave Romeo a herbal leaf to bath with for 3 nights in a row. On the 3rd night after the bath, he fainted with no pulse. Everyone thought he was dead, but after a few minutes of panic, he woke up. The doctor checked Romeo's blood and was amazed to find that his red blood cells were no longer dying so quickly. It was a miracle. Weeks passed and Romeo fully recovered. Even though he begged Annalise to stay, she decided to break up with him and go abroad to study. Romeo was heartbroken for the first time in a long time and learned a lesson that a new ride is like a ticking time bomb, exciting but unpredictable.